Hey, what's crackalacking? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So we're here today with a walk the mock. Basically, it's a mock draft. You can join. I'll have the link to join. It's in the description. It's in the chat. If you're on the X, I have it as a tweet. I'll also put it in the as a comment in the stream on the X. But hopefully y'all are having a great day. Hopefully y'all enjoyed. Well, golly, free agency, that first wave. Things coming to a kind of a halt. I'm so happy. I was so right about not not streaming on day 2 of free agency. I just remember it being so slow last year. And it ended up being the case this year. It was so stinking slow. So stinking slow. All right, let me find this. All right, if you're on the X, bam, I got that link for you as a comment on the X. What's Walk the Mock? It's basically a draft simulator where you could basically pick for a team. You're going to be drafted against real life other people. It's a really cool concept. One of my dynasty leagues just became active again. So we'll be doing this in about 12 minutes. These are the teams we currently have available to us. Please have the Dolphins select Tater, Tyson, or Love. Love? I don't know about Love, dude. We are not in a spot to take Love. Yeah, just follow the link. It'll give you all the information you need. I'm going to enjoy this Dutch pancake my wife made for me. Pick one about to be Diego Pavia. Oh, I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. I think pick one was solidified many moons ago. Hey, let's go Dutch pancake. Yeah, people could mess around. It is what it is. I ain't restarting that. Yeah, you have to be a member of Walk the Mock to take part in these. I know Goat House has done one. We might do another one in April. Oh, buddy. Honestly, I was gonna eat this with a fork, but feels like just going hands in might be the simplest way. But let me know in the chat, what were some of y'all's favorite moves from free agency? Could be for your team, could be not for your team, just favorite moves. Like, I'm glad the Panthers legitimately heard me cry out. Go get a tackle. You got Taylor Decker out there still. You got Rashid Walker out there still. Go out there and get your boy. Nobody is currently the Bucks. Okay. Okay, Brandon. I thought Brandon Smith was a good pickup. Oh, man. Ty, I personally, I actually like Jameel Dean. That addition for the Steelers. Steelers made some good moves though. I don't, man. Says he likes Tutu Atwell to the Dolphins. I can't say I agree with that one. He's like every other receiver currently on our roster. I mean, dude, we've had Taj Washington. We've had Malik Washington. Jalen Waddle doesn't like it's not like he has the best size. He just feels like every other wide receiver. Broncos getting zero players is surprising. Yeah, I know, man. Someone hated on me when I did my free agent landed spot video, and I didn't really have the Broncos going out and getting players. Not saying I projected that. I was just projecting landed spots for certain players, but just happened to be that way. Kind of is what it is. Getting DeMario back is so freaking cool. Yeah, it is. Oh, Ethan, a little disappointed with the Bears free agency. I could see it. I mean, they basically looked at their secondary, was like, yeah, we don't want to pay all those guys. No, Riley Moss will be a free agent next year. No, Riley Moss free agent next year. I can see Riley Moss getting like 8 to 12 million. Tyler, yep, you got to pay to join this one. Go ahead, check out the link. It'll give you all the information you need. Links in the description. It's also at the. I should have pinned it in the chat. Let me go do that. There we go. All right, I'm going to go throw this plate away. I'll be right back. Woo, 5 minutes out. 5 minutes out. Still got some spots available. You could literally hop on, join at any time. If someone hops off of a team, you could certainly hop onto one. So I got it all situated for y'all. If people join late, they certainly can. Aaron Rodgers continues to be a drama queen. He's a little bit of a attention hog, I suppose. I mean, dude, yeah, just go just tell the Steelers coming back so they can move on with their life. I believe it's $5 for a membership at Walk the Mock. And then you could partake in any of these mock drafts. I know Goat House has done one or two. Yeah, Steelers certainly feel like the potential I don't want to call it the ceiling of Ty Simpson, but it's probably going to be a very popular mock spot for him. Yeah, any team. Yeah, they're the teams you see on the screen without names on them. Those teams are still open. So the Bills, the Patriots, the Broncos, the Colts, the Bears, the Packers, Eagles, Commanders. We got the Panthers, Falcons, Bucks, Cards, Seahawks, and 49ers. No, you should be able to estimate. You should be able to either pay. You could pay for the year, or you could pay monthly. I think most subscription services are like that nowadays, anyway. All right, almost 2.5 minutes out. Thoughts on McCreary going to the Lions? But yeah, no, he's definitely going to be the slot uncle. He's definitely going to be your slot. Uh, from that video I saw, Sawyer sucks. So he's not great, but to say worse than Linderbaum, oh, bruh, you're talking about one of the worst guards in the NFL. I wouldn't say that. Yeah, I saw that the Packers are interested in acquiring Anthony Richardson. They could probably get him at a pretty cheap cost too. Second round of free agency is next week. Well, there's really only a few big names left in free agency. I can take a quick gander here because you got like Stephon Diggs, John or Jawan Jennings is one of the big names. Taylor Decker. You got Kirk Cousins, technically, Aaron Rodgers, technically. At running back, it's really just Brian Robinson. Wide receiver, it's some of the old heads. I mean, Brandon Ayuk hasn't even been technically like released. They might not even do it. There you go, coach. But you got like Debo, Diggs, Tyreek Hill, Keenan Allen, these age 30 or more wide receivers. Aside from again, dude, Jawan Jennings, I thought be with the team. Dallas Goddard doesn't technically get released until Monday. They're gonna try to get some stuff done. We're gonna go ahead, get into the draft room. Default rankings, go to the draft room. And here we go. Here we go. Wish there was a better way for me to put these picks on the screen. I wish I could move these around. Oh, excuse me. Woohoo! All right, the draft has now begun. We are going 4 rounds deep. Let me just edit this real quick. That way y'all can see the picks come in. Oh, thank y'all. Thank y'all. I did just lay out a massive sneeze. All right. Yeah, if y'all are trying to draft for teams, there are still teams available. You just got to Get a follow the link in the description. Become a member over at Walk the Mock. Njoku, he's a free agent. Taylor Decker is really the only big name. Maybe you got Juwan Jennings and Jonah Williams. Who wants those guys? You got a couple of the old heads at guard, Wyatt Teller, Kevin Zeitler, Joe Batonio. I like James Daniels if he could come back healthy. Ethan Posic's really the only center. Graham Glasgow, but he's more of a backup. But Posic's coming off the torn Achilles at edge. It's Joey Bosa, Javion Clowney, Hassan Reddick. All right, pick is in. Imagine we're gonna see Fernando Mendoza, quarterback out of Indiana. It's going to be the dude that's just going to be the guy mocked there all the time. All the stinking time. Oh, yeah. Darnell Mooney's out there, a wide receiver. DJ Reader. Arvell Reese going to the Jets at pick 2. That pick courtesy of Wan. Cardinals. This is a bot pick, so it's going to go to the 2 minutes. Again, we still got some teams available if y'all want to get in on this. Follow the link in the description. It's also the pinned chat. Oh, Juwan Jennings is a dude indeed. You need my opinion on Chris Braswell? Go watch my wide receivers video. Dude's long, big, he's fast. Attacks to the catch point well. There'll be some questions about his physicality because he is a bit thin. Didn't run the biggest route tree at Tennessee. But we got Calais Campbell, Daquan Jones on the interior. Linebacker Bobby Wagner's still out there. Levante David, is he going to retire? Logan Wilson, Jermaine Pratt, that's not great. Rasul Douglas, man, that dude deserves to go sign to. That dude deserves to go sign to a competing team. I hope he doesn't go back to the Dolphins. Trevon Diggs is still looking to play, but the corner market's not great. Like Trey White coming off actually a good year. I'm kind of curious about. Kyle Duggar's still out there. Cisco just re-signed with the Jets, I believe. Got Xavier Woods. Xavier Rhodes. Golly. It's been so long. Nice. Strat signed up with the chat. You just have Max sub, which is like 5 a month. Yeah, guys, check out the description. Dude, no one is comping there. No one is comping Adam Randall to Derrick Henry, and if they are, they're crazy. No, you got to have a premium account. You can't have a free account. So we see Francis Mauigoa going to the Cardinals. If this is Jeremiah Love to the Titans, but yep, there it is. I just don't like that pick. I feel like I have made my pick quite known. Not even quite known. I've made my stance as far as Titans going running back pretty clear. Sonny Styles going to the New York Giants, the G-Men. Oh, shoot. Picks are rattling in, man. There we go. Carnell Tate going to the Browns, so they'll look for a tackle probably with their second pick. Washington Commanders on the clock. No longer. Oh, my gosh. Y'all are flying through these picks. Okay, Gojo. I got you, bro. Ruben Bain. And now we get a breather as the Saints decide what to do here. Nope, we get no breather. The Jets took Arvell Reese. Caleb Downs to the Saints. That's interesting. That's interesting. Let me look real quick at their roster. Where does Gojo want me to go? Gojo's probably like, yo, go get David Bailey or Mansoor Delane and call it a day, dude. That's probably what Gojo's saying. Let's see. New Orleans Saints. How does Caleb Downs fit here? Quincy Riley, they could play outside. They bring back a healthy Julian Blackman. Jordan Howden's good depth, but he could also be a solid starter. Jonas Sanker, Justin Reed are their guys at safety. So I imagine Downs, you're kind of playing as a pseudo slot. Oh, Kenyon Sadiq. Okay. Okay. You were like, to hell with my suggestions. To heckles with all of them. Cincinnati Bengals, they go David Bailey. They should. They should. And now we sit. I mean, Mansoor Delane kind of feels like the obvious pick for the Miami Dolphins. Real quick, I'm going to we'll go over what has transpired thus far. We got Fernando Mendoza going to the Raiders, Arvell Reese to the Jets, Francis Maui Noah to the Cardinals, Jeremiah Love to the Titans, Sonny Styles to the Giants, Carnell Tate to the Browns, Ruben Bain to the Commanders, Caleb Downs to the Saints, Kenyon Sadiq to the Chiefs, and David Bailey to the Bengals. I'm going to go ahead. Is there a way for me to put him on like a queue? No, I guess you got to queue up before you do the draft. But I'm going to go with Mansoor Delane here. For one, I love Jermon McCoy. I have him ahead of Delane. I'm hoping he tests out well. If he doesn't, then yeah, I'm probably put Delane over him. But they're right next to one another. But if you're the Dolphins organization, the front office, this is your first pick of your regime. You don't want it to be a guy coming off an ACL injury. They've done diddly squat at corner. They brought in Daryl Luther, who had a rough year for the Titans, and then Marco Wilson, who's just hasn't been able to hold down a starting job. So yeah, Mansoor Lane's kind of the obvious pick for the Dolphins. Who's making these picks? Real life people. Yeah, no, we don't have trades in this mock. And I mean, Jordan Tyson of the Dolphins, that's the same thing. I just talked about, well, you got Jermon McCoy coming off the ACL. You don't want that to be the first pick of your regime. Hot diggity, dude. Jordan Tyson's got the same injury woes, man. Spartan, follow the link in the description or the pinned comment. Let's see. McCoy would be my top player currently on the board, but he's if you have $5 walk the mock membership, click link under the description. CCC. Dolphins need the 101 next year so they can trade down. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. If next year's quarterback class is remotely better, then I think just us having a top 10 pick helps. Then again, that does insinuate Malik Willis won't work, but to be fair, he might not work. He might work and just our team just kind of be trash, dude. All right, we saw Monroe Freeland going to the Rams. The pick before that was Peter Woods going to the Dallas Cowboys. They just recently traded Osa Adigizua. See, drop bear. I love the safeties too. That's why I think, hey, you could get a safety day too. You don't have to. If it's not Caleb Downs, I'd prefer not to spend a top half of the first round pick on a safety. Mm-mm-mm. I know the injury history is decently lengthy for Tyson, but his talent is wide receiver one level. Hamstring is the only injury that is worrisome, in my opinion. Well, that hamstring injury correlates with the ACL, I believe. That's what I was reading because he had a torn ACL back in his freshman year for, oh my gosh, Colorado. So, and there's some concerns about the hamstring being like a legit soft tissue lingering, something that's going to be a steady problem. So you could be looking at like T. Higgins area of like missing games year to year like that. Peter Woods, Caleb Banks. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I still prefer Peter Woods over Caleb Banks. You'd be like, look how he performed with the broken ankle, and it's like, cool. A broken ankle that he had a foot injury that kept him out of almost all of last season. It's just his production, man. I can't buy into that, man. I just can't. You got Vega, Iwani going to the Ravens, guard out of Penn State. Jermon McCoy, corner out of Tennessee, going to the Bucks. Interesting one there. Makai Lemon going to the Jets. Love it. There you go, coach. Oh, Gojo, are you about to leave? You hear Aquila barking? Spencer Fano, an interesting one here to the Detroit Lions. I think in this case, you kick Sewell out to left tackle. He has played left tackle in the past for the Lions. Imagine this is Dylan Thiemann coming to the Vikings. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Currently, Jordan Tyson is still on the board. All right, guys, let's rock. Let's roll. Later, bud. Currently, Panthers on the clock. As they're gonna go, Jordan Tyson just taking the best player on the board. What they brought in, Mechie. It feels like Xavier Leggett is not long for the roster, so we'll see. We'll see if he gets moved. He might be a guy that gets moved during the draft. This is going to be the Cowboys' second pick. They took Peter Woods at pick 12. Hot take, but I believe Jacob Rodriguez is a good pick for the Panthers at 19. 19 still feels a little rich, but if you like him, go get him, I suppose. Who's a day 3 QB you really like? I like Cade Klubnik still. I have Garrett Nussmeyer as a day 3 quarterback as well. I only have two quarterbacks. I got Fernando Mendoza as a top 10 pick, and then Ty Simpson as a top 50 pick, and then after that, it's I'd wait till day 3. Um, yeah, the only problem is I hate the size on guys like Klubnik and Nussmeyer. All right, CJ Allen going to the Cowboys. They get their linebacker. Steelers on the clock. I like Cole Payton too. I don't buy into his arm talent like other people do. What pick are we on now? We're currently on the Steelers pick. I don't know when I'm doing another walk the mock. What do you think about Arvell Reese for the Panthers? I don't mind it. I have watched Red Murdoch. I have an eval for him in the draft guide. Ooh, watch out! It is now time for me to make my pro comps. I'm gonna be rattling through some of those. I got some notes. I got some ideas of guys I want to go with certain comps. Caden Proctor going to the Steelers. I mean, you got Broderick Jones coming off of injury, and it's not like he's been fantastic. So I guess Carson Beck is being disrespected, dude, bro. I'm a Hurricanes fan. Carson Beck ain't all that. Good size, accurate quarterback from short to intermediate. Don't know when that Ford interception game is going to turn up, but it's turned up a couple of times here and there. It's just the arm is limited, mobility is okayish. TJ Parker going to the Chargers, so they get someone long term, I suppose. At edge, they bring back Khalil Mack for 1 year. Okay, and then we got the robot picking for the Eagles here. Carson Beck, NFL career backup. That's kind of where I have him at. I think he could be a high end backup in the NFL. Remember, just because this draft has started doesn't mean you are too late. You could definitely get in on it. Does Beck have a pro arm? I mean, it's fine enough. If you're going to ask me, put it on a scale 1 to 10, I put it at like a 5.5, a 6. I guess in terms of arm strength, that's where I would put it. Feel like I'm the only Chase Roberts fan. You probably are. All right. Eagles will be picking shortly here. I imagine this is probably edge. I'm going to have to grab more of that high quality caffeine. Mac Jones trade income. It doesn't sound like the Niners want to, but they're not fools. They'll listen to offers. What up, Wade? How you doing, buddy? I saw that Tyreek Tucker. Dude, I meant to comment back to you on the X. That Tyreek Tucker, when WWE Raw was in Indy, he was in the front row. He's just there flexing with like the WWE the WWE title with the Indiana logo on it. It's kind of sick. Tyson Bagent trade. Oh, Broshmo, you let anyone draft for the Steelers? He's probably a Ravens fan trolling. Who takes Proctor? Dude, I've seen Proctor go at 17. People like Proctor. Keem Mesidor, Edge, Philadelphia. Would he be a fit for the Eagles? That's it's essentially a Brandon Graham type. That would be the role for Akeem Mesidor. I don't think he's too old. If you just view him as a 4 to 5 year player, like, okay, he's gonna be a contract player for us, then he's gonna hit free agency, and maybe we get a comp pick for him. But we know he's gonna play a significant role for us between that 4 to 5 years. Cleveland Browns, they go corner Avion Terrell. That's an interesting one with, I guess they could move maybe Denzel Ward. Uh, Tyson Campbell was pretty good for him last year. Was it Miles Harden playing in the slot for the Browns? But you could probably upgrade that. Caleb Banks going to the Chicago Bears here. Do, do, do. So foregoing the offensive line, I mean, I guess you could rely on offensive line to fall and take it with uh what would this be like pick 39? Harden was mediocre. He was a first year starter. And what wasn't he like a 6th round pick or something? Has to be a Browns hater. Well, no, I think Terrell's not a bad pick there. Honestly, Terrell. I mean, if you look at that second tier of corners, like if you're gonna have McCoy and Delane in the first tier, you look at the second tier, it's kind of all scattered around. And when it comes down to it, probably Terrell was the one I thought him come in and measuring bigger and longer at the combine than I expected was pretty good work. It made me into somewhat of a believer. 49ers interested in Max Crosby. Thoughts? Dude, just sign Joey Bosa. Just sign Joey Bosa and don't you're just not going to be as committed. That's fine. Buffalo Bills. Keldrick Falk. Forgot he was on the board. That's actually a good pickup. He can develop there behind Chubb and Rousseau. He can kick inside as well. There's a lot of fun to be had with Falk, especially if you believe in your ability to develop him. I think I need to change my mouse out. Yeah, this sucker just died. Oh, come on. Come on, mouse. Give me a little bit more and I'll switch you out. Nah, it's dead. All right. TJ Sanders, Deion Walker, Folk is an interesting young core on the D line. It is. It certainly is. Let's see. Yeah. Don't mind me. I'm just charging my mouse. Gonna do some tape watching today. It's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be a good day. I think Ice Cube told me that once. Oh, right. Got these wireless mouses on standby when I need it. Niners pick's going to be coming in the next 15-ish seconds. Ignoring left tackle that badly isn't how you should be. No, but I mean, you're going to have like some interesting prospects, I think, at the top end of that second round in Max Ihanachor, Blake Miller, Cassius Howe to the Niners. I get that Blake, like Bryce Huff retired, but I don't know. That's the bot. That's the bot picking. He's just, Howe's not, I love Howe. I love watching him play this past year. He's just so much of an outlier, man. Just so much of an outlier. Texans pick is in. Kenny McDonald getting that big beefy boy on the interior. You got Caleb Lomu. Lomu is a guard. I don't think that. Nah, I don't. I disagree with that. The lack of play strength kind of scares me from the guard position. Emmanuel McNeil Warren's definitely an interesting pickup here for the Chiefs because they bring in Aloy Gilman. They got Kamari Connors, who honestly does a lot of work in the slot, but I think he played a bit more traditional safety this past year, perhaps. I could be getting that wrong off the top of my head. They have Jaden Hicks there as well. Here, let me just confirm. Kamari. There we go. Yeah, he played. Okay, he split. Essentially, he split time between the box and the slot. Yeah, I don't know if I love that one. Yeah, I don't think Lomu currently has the what's the word? The power profile to play guard. That makes me concerned. Didn't like Lomu left guard for the Texans and felt too rich for Pregnon. I might send it on Pregnon, man. I think he's going to be a good player off the bat. Rate the Sebastian Joseph Day contract, 2 years for 11 million. It's like an average contract. I'd say a 5. It's average, gives you depth, good rotation player there. Who do you not believe in? Is it Keanu Benton? Is it Derek Harmon with the knee and stuff? Why is it Emmanuel McNeil Warren classified as a free safety in the sim? He's very much a strong safety, if anything. He could play split high. I mean, yeah, I prefer him playing downhill, which probably means he's the strong safety in a cover 3, or he could play split in quarters. Denzel Boston going to the Broncos. I don't mind that one at all. Who did the Texans pick? They picked a player, if I'm to be correct. I think it was Caden McDonald, defensive tackle out of Ohio State. There it goes. Jacob Rodriguez going to the New England Patriots to play next to Robert Spillane, who honestly I should give more love to. I should, just because I'm not a fan of linebackers who are mediocre athletes. Don't mean, I mean, honestly, linebacker is so much of a nuanced position in terms of like if you got the brain for it, if you got the if you got it upstairs here, you could make up for any physical limitations you have. Just look at Nate Landman. Didn't take him long to figure it out just because he was just knew how to play the linebacker position in Colorado and eventually got his time to shine. What would your least favorite pick fit wise within the first round? Right now? Hey, people have thrown Rodriguez round 1. I wouldn't laugh at that. I wouldn't laugh at that. Especially with this how this draft is right now. You're gonna see interested names at the back end of the first round. Fit wise, like Spencer Fano makes me queasy, but I get why you make the pick. Just don't move him to left tackle. That's what I would say. I don't think there are any bad fits. Yeah, none that I can see. Like I question Emmanuel McNeil Warren what he's gonna do at safety for the Chiefs. Oh, in general with the mock, like fits I don't like. Jeremiah Love to the Titans. There we go. Jalen Kilgore fits the new style of NFL. The problem is the new style of NFL. You only have former Mike McDonald head coaches doing it. Like Zach Orr was doing it with Kyle Hamilton, Mike McDonald doing it with Nick Emanuari. I don't know if you could really call it the new style when it's only a handful of teams specifically from a certain coaching tree that do it. We had Zion Young go to the Seahawks, and now we have Ty Simpson going to the New York Jets for their second pick. The Jets currently taking Makai Lemon and Arvel Reese. Oh, there was a ton of pass rushers Seattle could have picked from that spot. Drop air. The draft starts on a Thursday, whatever that Thursday in April is. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. Yeah, I could see Downs being used in a similar manner. Honestly, I could see Emmanuel McNeil Warren being used in that way as well. April 23rd. There you go. I need to be gearing up for another pick. I got a couple ideas in mind. This is Walk the Mock, Elite One. Do you like Jordan Tyson at pick 19? I think I like Jordan Tyson, period. Like, let's see, wide receiver here. Like, I don't mind. I like him at 16. I'd like him at 14. I'd like him at 13. I wouldn't be against him at pick 9 for KC. Just because I think he's that good. You got Caleb Lomu going to the Arizona Cardinals here. I guess you just kick him to right tackle. I mean, they moved Paris Johnson to from right to left tackle. I don't think you're trying to move Paris Johnson again. Brandon Cisse. Oh, tight ends. Why are we going with another corner? You just invested all this money with like Alante Taylor and Cordero Flott. You brought Joshua Williams in on a 2-year deal. I don't know about that. YouTube's been slow recently, has it? All right, Raiders pick is in. After I announce this pick, I'm gonna go top off my coffee. So they go. I was kind of hoping Omar Cooper would make it back to me as the Dolphins. I knew that was a bit of a fever dream, though. All right, we got Emmanuel Pregnon going to the Giants. We got the Raiders taking Omar Cooper Jr. All right, I will be back. All right, we're back. Texans still yet to pick. Oh, that's good, yeah. How does this work? First time in the stream. So essentially, this is a mock draft simulator. You pick for one team, and then basically you're picking against other people who are picking for their respective team. Blake Miller going to the Houston Texans. Be that right tackle of the future. Will they miss on another Blake? That is the question. A lot of good players left in this mock, man. I mean, we are at the top of the second round. There's going to be good players, period. Right now, mapping out where I may or may not want to go. I got a couple of ideas, couple of thought processes. It is a big coffee, dude. I love me some coffee, man. I'm addicted to caffeine. Ugh. Cleveland Browns, they go Jennings Dunker. Is he a tackle? Is he a guard? I mean, dude, he's got the wingspan. He tested well. I'd say, yeah, give him a shot at tackle. To hell with it. Brain Smith to left guard, 2026 it is. Yeah, no, I feel like we kind of assumed that already. Think I already mentioned that earlier. Yeah, at the beginning of the stream. Favorite brand of coffee? I don't really have one. I'm not a like I enjoy coffee. I'm not like a coffee snob. Kansas City Chiefs. They go Max Ihanachor. That was a guy I was kind of eyeing for the Dolphins. Coming up. You could develop him at right tackle if you're the Chiefs. You got Jalen Moore with 1 year left on his contract. Looking at other routes I may or may not want to go. I should probably look at the Dolphins roster. It's not like we made a lot of moves. I'm here looking at Green Bay Packers roster. Nope, Halfley is now officially a Dolphin. So Lee Hunter. Well, I'm on the board now. Lee Hunter going to the Cincinnati Bengals. Good pickup. Okay, our lad's crapping the bed for me. I don't know why it's going slow. Kevin Recepcion going to the New Orleans Saints. Who dat? All right, couple of different avenues I could go. Corner fell pretty nice. If I want to double up on that, I do not though. Dolphins added Jalen Tolbert. I don't care. I just don't care. I could go a guard here. I think that's in the ballpark of things. Christian Miller's my best player on the board, though. It's just we've invested in that interior position. I don't know if I just want to say to hell with it and just say screw it. We got 50 seconds, so let's narrow this down. Christian Miller is a consideration. Um, I don't think I'm gonna double dip at corner. Derek Moore, Malachi Lawrence. Derek Moore's a better run defender. And then I could go with one of the guards, whether it be Kalen Rutledge or Chase Basantis. Because I don't really trust stinking, who is it? Jamar Sawyer at right guard. I think I'm probably going to go with Derek Moore. I'm a big Derek Moore fan. Stops the run well, needs to develop as a pass rusher, but they got Uchi there. So you could play more early downs and Uchi could come in and play passing downs. That's my plan. Porqué. Oh, I got to get all these Derek's off the board here. Jets pick is in. Recepcion is such an elite nickname, by the way. Yeah, wish he had better hands. D'Angelo Pons, the pit bull. There we go. All right. All right. I'm pretty happy with my first two picks for the Dolphins. Isn't Moore injured? Not as far as I know. Is Derek Moore injured? I don't know where that news is coming from. Oh, he suffered a hamstring injury 2 weeks prior to the combine, which prevented him from participating. He did do the bench press though, and he plans to do all his stuff on his pro day. Okay, no biggie. No biggie. Chris Brazel going to the Ravens, and we see Anthony Hill Jr. going to the Bucks, and I think we just saw Jake Golday going to the Indianapolis Colts. Did I tell you my cousin is your cousin's freaking DeMarcus Lawrence? That's insane. Yeah, you know my cousin's Lamar Jackson. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Dude, there's a lot of good corners on the board. Christian Miller's being here is kind of insane. Insane to me. I guess the general draft consensus isn't high on him like I am. Realistically, is there any team that would be trying to move up so the Panthers could move back? If anything, I think the Panthers might try to move up for like a Kenyon Sadiq. But no, oh, not DeMarcus Lawrence. Oh, Deontay Lawson. Oh, okay, that makes more sense. That makes more sense. He hasn't earned the nickname D-Law in the NFL. I'm just gonna say that. I like Lawson's tape a ton. It was just what he was coming off the ACL injury from last year. He entered spring camp thin, which honestly to be expected. Honestly, isn't that much bigger. How did he test out? Or is he? He did not test out. Okay, and he's still. Well, I mean, the dude's got room on his frame. Who cares if he's sub 230 now? And I mean, to be fair, sub 230 is kind of the new thing when it comes to stinking linebackers. Yeah, Justin Jefferson, his teammate, he came out and performed at the combine. All right, Christian Miller going to the Minnesota Vikings. That's a really good pickup. Malachi Fields. I don't know if I like that for the Ravens because variety is the spice of life, and I think getting another big body, slower corner might not be the play. Let's see. Who's the? I think it's Colton Hood. Just looking at my big board right now. Deny Dennis Sutton. Kind of a sick pickup here for the Lions. Tested out really well. Can they get the most out of him? I mean, honestly, when you're playing across from Aiden Hutchinson, you should step up, but that wasn't the case for a guy like Josh Pascal. Best free safety after Thiemann? I don't really think of. Well, it's not like the NFL runs a ton of like cover 3. I mean, you got certain teams that do. More so, we're seeing too high. Genesis Smith, probably he's the best at. If you're looking for like a true center fielder, just don't expect him to tackle. Josiah Trotter. All right, they get a little developmental cat out of Mizzou at linebacker. He can be an early down player, and then maybe you have Trevin Wallace come down and be the guy you play on passing downs, or just stinking Trotter. Josiah Trotter needs to get better in coverage if he's going to stay on the field. Oh, Echoes. I'm glad that this show made your day today. Thoughts on Kamari Ramsey? He's a solid corner. I wouldn't call him I don't know. I thought he was going to be really good in the slot for USC, and then he wasn't, and I had to like rack my brain. Oh, why is that the case? Just more comfortable, I think, around the box or as a split high. How's Colton Hood fallen so far? Good players fall in the draft. Good pickup for the Packers, though. Steelers pick is in. They're going to be going with Keontae Scott. If you hate players that will be 25 their rookie year, then tell me how you feel about Keontae Scott, who's going to play in the slot. That's just his best role in the NFL. Yeah, if y'all want to join late, you can just follow the link in the description. It's also the pin chat. There's a lot of grown men in this draft. That's the thing. Coming in hot, Broshmo just subbed to Walk the Mock. All right, Joel, get in on this draft, my friend. Was hoping Christian Miller fell to me at 51. Ended up going Trotter. Let's put a good linebacker next to Lloyd and fill another hole. Thought about Halsey and Tiernan as well. Yeah, I mean, there are a variety of good options, and I think the floor is really good with Josiah Trotter. Don't get me wrong. I really do. Some people don't have Chris Johnson. No, I mean, I feel like Chris Johnson's probably a top 50 player. I worry about his physicality, but in the right scheme, he's a top 50 player. Do, do, do. Ooh. If you are a zone heavy team that don't run a lot of press, Chris Johnson might be your guy. Just saying. Just saying. Dang, there's actually a few corners I really like still on the board here. We got Eli Stowers going to the Philadelphia Eagles, even if they bring back Dallas Goedert on Monday. They could look to the future. It might just be a one-year deal. Chase Basantis. Chargers getting lucky there, man. I thought Basantis probably would have been gone earlier. I mean, I was considering him at my pick. I ended up going Derek Moore. Really going in on the defense. I like that. Maybe Chandler Rivers, then Bud Clark. If he falls to the fourth, those nickel free safety pair. Well, neither of those guys should play free. Like, I don't think Bud Clark should play free. He was at his best in the slot and in the box at TCU. A lot of good players still on the board here. Let's see. We are all of this would be pick 56. I have one, two, three, four, five players from my top 50 still available, which is nice. That's a good feel. Stowers, okay, tight end 2. However, we signed Mundant and Calicatera. Goddard is staying. Well, until he's currently not. Chris Johnson going to the Jags. I think that's a good pickup. Allows you to figure out what to do with what Jordan Lewis and Jerry and Jones just kind of battle it out for the slot, I suppose. Chicago Bears go with R. Mason Thomas to get an edge. I mean, that's a DPR. if I'm being honest. This is a guy that's just going to come in solely just to rush the passer. You're logged in. You gotta follow the link in the description, my boy. Devin Moore is way better. I'm not a Devin Moore guy. I worry about the shoulder injuries. I thought he would test out better based on his tape, which I mean, to be fair, if he looks faster on tape, that's good. But at the same time, you would like that to. And I know some people were saying he had an ACL injury. I've read nothing up on that, and that he performed on an ACL injury. I've seen nothing about that. Oh, Caleb Banks going day 3 now with the foot injury. It's possible, but unlikely, I think. It is this mock draft is not free to join. It is not. What was it? Spartan. I'm never watching Gummy Johnson, sorry. Especially now that I had to hop on Alex's all 22. I no longer have that good stuff when it comes to all 22, and it makes me sad. Sad panda over here. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, majority of the NFL plays zone. Like when they talk about, oh, this is a man heavy defense, you might be looking at teams that play at about 50-50. How do I feel about Chris Bell? I love Chris Bell. And now he is gone. That is actually a great pickup for the 49ers right there. The bot out here feasting, taking Chris Bell, just taking value. I love it. I have a plan, but let's see how it plays out with how people are being chosen. Yeah, you should always go into the draft with a plan, ideally. And you need to be prepared to call audibles because, again, you can never quite predict what's going to happen in the draft. Zachariah Branch has no route tree. That's not 100% true. It's just not a big route tree. Jones and Lewis play inside. They could still trade one of them. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I said they could battle out for who's going to play in the slot, or if there's a demand, they can maybe trade one of them. But I doubt. I feel like if they're going to trade one, it's a pick swap. Jones can play outside. I thought they were going to go with Jones primarily outside, but then Jordan Lewis wanted to play outside, and then he played more in the slot. And it's like, da, 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 da. All right, here comes the Texans pick. Texans, they're going to go in with the Gabe Atkins. Golly. What an edge room. What an edge room. They're going to get after the passer quite a bit. Slant go screen is not a route tree. Dude knows how to run a good stick route. I've seen him run corner routes and out routes. I'm not saying he's got a big route tree, but he did what he was asked to do. Bears grab Keith Adney. That's a good pickup. He was a top player on my board. A little sad to see him go, but it is what it is. All right, we got Garrett Nussmeyer. That seems a little early, but you never know with quarterbacks. I guess that's the guy that they're developing, the 24-year-old Garrett Nussmeyer. I guess that's fine. I mean, I don't know. I kind of wish the Rams did more because if you look at the Rams pick in this draft, it's all predicated on the future, which it's fine if your whole idea was okay, we're gonna go into free agency and we're gonna bring in guys for to compete for the season, but we're going to use the draft like we traditionally should, and it being something to pad the future. Because Monroe Freeland, he could play right tackle with Warren McClennan being a free agent after next year. Garrett Nussmeier, you're kind of hoping just kind of learns under the tutelage of Matthew Stafford. So I get it. I see it. It's a little early for me, but it is what it is. He looked good at the combine. Dude, they were throwing against air. I don't care how they threw at the combine. At the combine, you're just trying to show off your arm talent, just your arm strength or maybe accuracy. But then again, you're throwing to receivers you haven't thrown to before. So the timing's all messed up. So it's not always going to look great. I don't, I care more about what they did at the Senior Bowl than them throwing at the combine. That's why people were like, "Oh, Drew Aller at the combine." Zachariah Branch going to the Broncos. Okay, Marvin Mims, he's on the move. That's how I see that. There you go, buddy. Don't get tripped up. Do do do. Neither of those linebackers are currently available. Oh, dude, Garrett Nussmeier looked great, especially in the game. That's what, dude. He's my quarterback 3. Not disputed it. I just won't take him that high. And Malachi Lawrence is a nifty pickup for the Patriots here. That's really good value. I think that's really good value. I like that. Half Gonzo? It's kind of a cool name. On a side note, you have Gonzo, Christian Gonzalez, the actual corner there. Or if you want to go Muppets, you have Gonzo, which, dude, Muppets are freaking fantastic. A Muppets Christmas Carol is like a top 5 Christmas movie of all time. If you don't know, now you know. Um, dude, I'm feeling good. People aren't really taking wide receivers right now. There's like there's like what I want to do. All right. So I have 3 third round picks. I could be careful about this. Late second is almost third round. Oh, dude, I have a 4th round grade on Garrett Nussmeier. If I were to take him in the 3rd round, it'd probably be like back end of the 3rd round. I don't know. Keith Abney, I think, is a good pickup for the Bears. Ethan, you lose no Sean Wright. I mean, I get it. You got Jalen Johnson, Tyreek Stevenson. You're hoping both Johnson and Kyler Gordon are going to be healthy this year. I mean, you would want the Bears to maybe take a shot on a safety, right? All right, here come the Seahawks. Connor Lew. They're going with the center? I don't know about that one. That was the bot picking, right? Yeah, that was a bot pick, and I don't know about that one. Sundale's actually played well. If anything, they need a guard. QBs almost always get overdrafted unless it was was it the 2023 draft? Or was it 2022? Yeah, Kenny Pickett, and then you didn't see another quarterback till round 3. It's not always the case. Ethan, I would definitely say Keith Abney would have to play in the slot in a Dennis Allen system because they play a lot of man. They like to play press. Abney can do those things, but given his size, I don't know if you trust him to do it consistently on the outside. Oh, that is good coffee, baby. I really like Sam Darnold. You should now. All right, Goj, I'll get you out of here. This pick opens up the 3rd round, Goj. Hey, what are y'all doing? Quit playing with that. Where's your mommy? Here, go to your mommy. Over there, playing with the fridge. These kids are out of their mind. What's the dog doing? My other dog heard someone at the door or something at the door. She barked, and he hears her bark, and he's like, I got to get in on this action. Ooh, Grayson Holtz into the Cardinals. That's interesting. I feel like they need well, yeah, I feel like they need an edge more than they actually need a interior player, but I ain't against it. Dang it, dude. Kalen Rutledge. That's who I really wanted for the Dolphins. Think now you just probably forced my hand to go wide receiver. Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna go wide receiver now. That sucks. I really wanted Kalen Rutledge to me with my my first 3rd round pick. Tis what it is. To be fair, I mean, dude, tight ends. If you're gonna draft a running back in the 1st round, then you freaking better get some offensive line help. I don't want people telling me, "Oh, they did. They got was it Schlotman and Volson." Oh, it makes me want to throw up in my mouth. Yeah, that's gonna be some explosiveness there. Yeah, Walter Nolan and Grayson Holton. AJ Hulsey going to the Raiders. The Raiders. Rutledge could make it out of round 2, depending on how the medicals came back on his foot. He almost had to amputate that foot in 2024 because of a car accident. So I think Rutledge, it wouldn't surprise me if Rutledge fell out of day 2 because medicals are going to be big with him. But I mean, he played all of last season, no problem. He tested out. I don't know if you knew this, well. So who knows? Who knows? And I'm not picking on I just want to say I'm not picking on the tight ends offensive line group. I kind of am, but I'm not. Because like Schlotman, I don't even know if I'm saying his name right, but I actually like him getting a nod to be a starter in the NFL. I think he could surprise. Cordell Volson at right guard is freaking atrocious. Freaking atrocious. I am here to walk, he mock. I assume, Luigi, you met the mock. Excuse me. If you notice this week, I managed to get a few watch-ins. You also notice that as some pro day results come in, I'm quickly deciding on who I'm not gonna watch leading up into the draft. Who guys that I'm like, okay, here comes their pro day. It wasn't great. I'm not gonna devote time to go watch this cat. Caleb Tiernan going to the Eagles. I like that pickup. That's a good pickup. I gotta check if I need more. If I need to put in more pro day numbers. I follow Alex Katzen. He puts out some good spreadsheets. He keeps up with all the pro day numbers. Does a good job at it. Oh, how do I become a GM? Follow the link in the description, my friend. Who have the Texans taken so far? We'll go over all that at the end. I know they've gone Caden McDonald's. I think that was their first round pick. But if you do notice, I did get a few new evals this week. Joe Fagnano, the Yukon quarterback, also did. I did a real quick watch of Brennan Morton because I knew I wasn't going to like him. And I didn't. Got an eval for him. There's still a couple of quarterbacks I might just watch just because I really want to, like Jordan Clark. I want to watch from Missouri State. Tucker Gleason out of Toledo. Running backs, I watched Kentrell Bullock from South Alabama, Curtis Allen from Virginia Union, Chip Trinanan, who I've watched in the past when he was at like Arizona State and Ohio State. Wide receivers, I completed, I think, the LSU wide receivers. I knew I'm not watching Chris Hilton. I'm probably not watching Chris Hilton. I think he's more of a track star than wide receiver. But Xavier Thomas, I got an eval in for Kendrick Law out of Kentucky. Donovan McCulley, which I actually watched him a couple of times during the season, but then I actually sat down and gave him a legit watch through. Dude, Caden Wetgen, dude. What was there to watch about that dude? What was there to watch? I'll tell you what there was to watch. Special teams. Tight ends. Did I watch a tight end recently? I think there's a couple I want to watch. Oh, I think I jumped to tackles. I watched Enrique. Was it Enrique Cruz out of Kansas? I thought that he was actually he was a fun watch. I'm glad I got around to him. Oh, Washington Commanders take Jeremy Bernard. That was the next guy on my freaking wish list for the Dolphins. Might be just taking a shot in the dark at wide receiver at this point. We got Romello Height going to the Saints. Nick Singleton, running back. Holy crap. Going to the Bengals. Oh, we saw actually a couple of picks come in. Before I make my there goes Joshua Josephs, by the way. Not that he was really on my someone I was going to realistically take, but Elijah Surratt goes to the Texans. You got LT Overton going to The Browns, Jeremy Bernard going to the Commanders, Nick Singleton going to the Bengals, Romello Height going to the Saints, and then Joshua Joseph's going to the Chiefs. So there's still a guard that I wouldn't mind taking here. There's a couple of guards I wouldn't mind taking here, actually. All the tackle talent, in my opinion's off the board. I think now I look at wide receiver and I take a shot on somebody. Then again, there's some guys that I like later on. So maybe I just go send it with the guard talent. Maybe I just go with the best player on my board, which would be Davidson Igbinosun, right? Isn't he still around? Pair him up with Mansour Delane and just call it, just say, hey, this is my corner room now. Kyle Lewis could be a fun pickup too. Kind of use him as a big slot. I think that's where I might go and see what Halfley could do about that. Maybe he uses him like Edrin Cooper in his first year. I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go with Kyle Lewis first. We'll circle back and we'll see what players might be available. All right, got a couple of picks coming on in. Yeah, I love me some Kyle Lewis. My vision is he plays big slot, kind of acts like a Sam linebacker, but in a sub package, which most of the NFL is running sub packages anyway. We got Antonio Williams going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. We got Big Citrus going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Orange Crush. Josh Metlis meets Isaiah Simmons. Golly, dude. You want to talk about a range of outcomes? That's a range. That's certainly a range. Big Citrus to Florida. That's funny. That's actually quite funny. Big Citrus landed in Florida. All right. For the Dolphins, because I do have a pick coming up at 23. I think I got an idea of who I want to get there. Got a couple of guys. Caleb Alarms Or, dude. Golly, he's had a good offseason draft process. He really has. And then Malik Muhammad, corner out of Texas, going to the Atlanta Falcons. Baltimore Ravens picking up Jake Slaughter. Oh, we got another center off the board here. Center out of Florida. Oh, you don't like oh, I see. I see. Just stay me. Oh, okay. That's a cool name. Yeah, Slaughter, he's got very boring tape, which is a good thing for offensive linemen. Kamari Ramsey gonna go be playing safety for the Jags. I don't mind it. A lot of good safeties still on the board here. And then, hey, Vikings able to grab Jadarian Price. Let's go. That's solid. As we saw running backs take a tumble in this draft. And I mean a tumble. All right. I kind of got an idea how I want my next 3 picks to go. We'll see how it all works out here. As the Carolina Panthers pick is in, they go with Jalen Kilgore. Okay, that's a more traditional way. That's a more traditional of what I want to do with Kyle Lewis. Kilgore might be the better answer to that. But then I think Kyle Lewis has had a phenomenal offseason draft process. And now we're here for Saul and the Green Bay Packers. Jadarian Price could go early round too. Wish he ran better, but it is what it is. Daryl Jackson Jr. Okay. Defensive tackle out of Florida State. A guy that I think never reached his potential, but you kind of hope that he could attain the production that kind of escaped him the last year. Very freaky athlete. Pittsburgh Steelers go with Zakee Wheatley out of Penn State, pairing up the Penn State safeties. Let's see what these Chargers end up doing at this pick. I still think I'm going to get my guy. Oh, Skylar Bell, wide receiver out of UConn. He's got some fun tape. I think he might end up being a slot only in the NFL, but ooh, he's got some fun tape. I'm taking Max Clare. I'm not going to think twice about this. They re-signed Greg Dulcich. Cool. Whatever. We still need tight ends. Max Clare was the guy that I kind of wanted. I said kind of wanted. But there we go. Feeling good. Yeah, Max Clare is really awesome after the catch. He was good as a blocker for Ohio State as well. Skylar Bell will be 24 at the beginning of his rookie year, which, yes, that would categorize him as old by NFL draft standards. Currently, my highest player available is 61st on my big board. Still out there, still available. There goes Dante Lawson, linebacker at Alabama. Um, mm, I would put Trig up in there. I'm also a Dalen Bentley guy out of Utah. I actually like him quite a bit. All right, I'm back on the clock. Bears, they're going to go with Mike Washington. It's an interesting pick. Let's see. All right, so I got a few options. Ted Hurst is a guy that comes to mind, someone that could win deep. Um, I'm being honest, I kind of want that guard spot. Jalen Farmer's the next guy up. The funny thing is, he reminds me of Jonah Savanea a ton, which sounds scary. It might be scary. I'm pretty sure Farmer won't be available at my pick in the fourth round. I think I know where I'm going in the fourth round. Uh, Davidson Igbinosun is a guy that I would really like on the squad. He's my highest rated player right now on the board. Farmer's not too far behind at 65. So I'm gonna clean up that guard spot though. I'm gonna get offensive line help for my quarterback, and I'm gonna get Jalen Farmer. Bo Stevens, yeah, he tested poorly, but if you watch his tape, it's not he's got like he's an average athlete with average play strength. He's just and to be fair, you could get away with that by being a skilled technician at on the interior, and he is. And he is. I wouldn't take a shot on him until day 3 though. Yeah, Farmer's interesting. He's an interesting cat you watch. A lot of upper body strength, not always so sure with the leg drive and his ability to keep leverage. Yeah, Pat Coogan, dude. If I didn't hate Pat Coogan's 2024 tape so much, I think I'd probably be higher on him. It's just his 2024 tape was not great. He cleaned up a lot at Indiana, but I don't know. It's still a tough taste to get out of my mouth. Jordan Tyson doesn't have the same injury woes as Jamad. Y'all are tripping. Bro, Jordan Tyson had a torn ACL too. Jordan Tyson tore his ACL his freshman year at Colorado. He breaks his collarbone the next year in I think it was the Big 12 conference championship game. And then he had a lingering hamstring issue, which is a huge red flag. Jermon McCoy only has the ACL, and that's just because it's recent. Hey, Buffalo Bills, they go out and get a center and Sam Heck. Yeah, Jordan Tyson's tape is great. I love Jordan Tyson's tape. You think the Bills could use some of the pick swaps from their trades this offseason to move up early round 3 or even late round 2 again? Yeah, I mean, that's why you do those trade swaps to have some maneuverability on day 2 and day 3. Dramad is clearly tanking his own value so he can get drafted by the maybe, man. Ooh, Nadame Tucker. Oh, he's going to be 26 years old as a rookie. I don't know about that one. Harold Perkins. Oh, Harold Perkins is also an interesting pick here. But the Rams don't mind those tweeners. Rams do a relatively good job figuring it out. I'm surprised so many people like if I'm the Broncos here, I'm taking Davidson Igbinosun easy. Oh my gosh. I buy life insurance from Harold Perkins? The heck? Someone please take Emmett Johnson, dude. Who wants a running back in this draft? The Titans. The Titans apparently do. Yeah, I mean, with the next year's running back class, you'll watch out. When are you gonna have my Raiders guy wasted back on? I'm about to do. We're about to be in collab mock draft season. Tomorrow, I'm recording with football analysis Garrett Greenlee. He's gonna come on the show. That video will be out on Monday. Dolphins, no wide receivers. Bro, hold the phone. I have a 4th round pick. Kamate. I wanted Jeremy Bernard with my first 3rd round pick. It just didn't happen. There goes Genesis Smith. Safety at Arizona State. Or Arizona, excuse me. Guys, Tutu out. Okay, stop. Tutu Atwell ain't stopping me from drafting a wide receiver in the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd round. Tutu Atwell is on a 1-year deal, and he is very much a gadget player that sometimes can hit the vertical shot. You're joking, Chris? Okay, I'm just saying. I'm just saying, dude. I saw that we signed Tutu, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, dude! This is like all our other wide receivers in the room." I guess Jalen Tolbert, cool. Yo, how do y'all let Davidson Igbinosun go to Mike Vrabel in the 3rd round? Golly. Tutu Atwell is a Daniel Jeremiah crush. I didn't believe him because of the size. I'm not a big like when it comes to wide receivers and like terrible size. I think Tank Dell was my one exception. You might be like, "Oh, Makai Lemon," and it's like, "But dude, at least Makai Lemon is thick. At least he's thick." Stephon Diggs was mine. Wasn't Stephon Diggs still like 5'10"? No, he's like 6 foot. What happened to Tank? Dude, he had a horrific knee injury. He had to sit out this year recovering. Oh, I got a player for y'all that I'm gonna take in the 4th round that deserves a little love. I don't think anyone's gonna take him. CJ Stroud gets Tank back and he balls out again. Hopefully. I'm hoping we got Traydon Stokes. That's more of a defensive back going to the Seahawks there. But people look at like Tank Dell's size and they're probably thinking, well, I mean, of course he got hurt in the NFL, but dude, his last injury was such a fluke injury. Such a fluke injury. Dude, CJ Stroud, Bryce Young takes are tough, dude. Miami needs Trey Zoom. Well, I already took my card. Julian Neal going to the Vikings, another guy that honestly could play safety if you wanted to. So you see some versatile DBs going here at the back end of the third. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough watching a guy go down on a fluky injury. I mean, dude, Fred Warner this past year, guy just rolled into him and cracked his leg. Julian Neal did not run a 4.7. What are we talking about? Julian Neal ran officially a 4.49, not even close to a 4.7. What are we doing? What are we doing? There you go, Coach. Hey, I'm working. Okay.
But Dusty, I just found all three Dusty for dinner on one day.
Did you? Nice. Good job. Coach, quit looking at my feet. What are you doing, you freak? Oh, you want to say hi to the people, Coach? Oh, here you go. Got Gojo up in the building. Yeah, buddy. You want to look at the camera? Look at the people. There goes Ted Hurst. That's a good pickup for the Eagles there. Good pickup for the Eagles. Dang, my boy Jonah Coleman here. Ooh, I do love me some Jonah Coleman. Unfortunately, I love Jonah Coleman 2024 tape. Gojo is half. Oh, Terry and York. Oh, he's a dog. He's a little short, but he is a dog at linebacker. Gojo is half Husky, half Australian Kelpie. Or how I like to say it, he's a dingo. He eats babies. Broshmo is from J Raider. You know, yeah. No, I know about Jack Kelly, and you too can know. Might as well. I haven't done a draft guide promo yet. Still working hard on the website, guys. Me and my guy are getting together this week to talk about it. But until then, here's a promo.
We love the NFL draft, and now my draft guide is available for purchase. It comes with over 500 player backgrounds and close to 300 player evals. It updates throughout the whole draft cycle. So when I add a new eval or I change my rankings, you're going to be the first to know. It's going to have all the pro day and combine numbers along with analytics. And it's a Google spreadsheet for right now. So you have to include your email with the purchase, but we will be switching over to a website at the end of the year. And if you get it now, it's going to be cheaper now than it will be later. It's a great way to support the channel. And as always, much appreciated, much obliged.
Yeah, I need to re-record that promo, but it does its job. Brian Parker the second, almost call him the third, at a Duke. He's going to go play either guard or center for the Jags. All right, so Jack Kelly, linebacker, BYU, 6'1", 246. I'll give y'all a little glimpse into what my evals look like in the draft guide. Chris McLennan, dude, I like him. He's got good size, good athlete at that size too, going to the tight ends. So for Jack Kelly, here are the pros I got for him. Compact build, stout muscle throughout, moves well laterally to mirror against the run and bounces between gaps. Play strength. He has the play strength to take on offensive linemen and not be washed from the run play. Delivers healthy blows to climbers and puts blockers on the turf with heavy punches, putting them on their tuchus. Mixes up as a pass rusher and can be a weapon on simulated blitzes. That was kind of his thing. Him and Glasker spent a lot of the time switching off being a actual true edge player this past season. But he's adequate in zone, feels what's going on behind him, so he can click and close underneath. Voted a team captain, lots of special teams experience. He's got, 402 snaps on special teams. The cons, the negatives. Not real. I think I meant no real. That's how you know it's me typing in these evals, not copy and paste because I got typos here and there. No real quicks or twitch, leaving him vulnerable out in space. Lacks ideal length, which leaves him stuck on blocks at times. Tackle production is a bit underwhelming. 54 tackles in 2024 was the most in any given season. Occasionally creates bad angles for himself, leading into near missed tackles. He had a missed tackle rate this past year of 22.4%. Also lacks the fluidity to be reliable in man-to-man coverage, better as a hook or curl zone linebacker. So there's the nitty-gritty I have in my draft guide on Jake Kelly. I'll say this, my current top player available is indeed a tight end. Hey, look, Raiders, they brought in Taron Johnson to play in the slot. Now you got Chandler Rivers who can challenge him. I actually like that. I like that pick quite a bit. Remember when we were talking about Drew Aller going to the first round? Good times. Dude, yeah, remember when we had like 4 to 5 quarterbacks going to the first round? I'm just going to say this. At the beginning of the year, after this, my summer watching, my summer scouting, I had Garrett Nussmeier as QB3. Lo and behold, here we are, about a month and some change out from the draft. Garrett Nussmeier is still my quarterback 3. Don't look at where he's projected now. Just saying. I nailed where he would be on my board. Where he would be in my rankings. Logan Jones going to the Jets, by the way. You get someone that could hopefully someday challenge Josh Myers at center there. We'll say my current top player on my board is a tight end. Only Carson Wentz fell out of favor. Was Nick Foles and Wentz injuries. I like Sawyer Robertson more than Nussmeier. Dude, Sawyer Robertson, if we're talking about Sawyer Robertson when he's running hot, then yeah, I get it. But that dude runs so cold, so hot. When he is in a slump, my gosh, it's horrible. And it's like that game to game. I don't think he has one game that I watched where it was like, this dude was on from open to close. Cole Payton will be Tanner McKee's replacement. Golly. All right, we got a couple of picks that have come on through. Thoughts on Bryce Lance? Christian Watson. Drew Aller going to the Cardinals. There we go. We got a quarterback pickup. Oh, dude, Greg, you're doing a lot of heavy lifting with Sawyer Robertson. When you say maybe accuracy, dude, maybe's strong. Bryce Lance going to the Giants. All right, Coach. I hear you. You hear Akila. I get it. There you go, bud. Holy shit. Hey, when I'm done. Oh, in my room? Okay. Love you. We can talk later. Ah, my cord. There we go. Take another quarterback next year's draft. Just keep taking one until we hit. Honestly, that's not a bad idea. Good comp if he is Christian Watson. Needs to stay healthy, unlike Watson. I mean, I don't think Lance has had any injury woes in college. Let's see. Yeah, I don't have any injury woes with him from college. And yeah, dude, people are gonna say helmet scouting, and it's like, but I mean, you see a big, fast, vertical guy. Christian Watson's always gonna be one of the first comps that jump to mind. Oh no, I know. Hey, EB, I know you said I know you didn't insinuate that he did. You were talking about just needs to be healthy, unlike Watson. And I was just kind of reaffirming, like, yeah, well, okay, he hasn't had those woes. I was just confirming. I was just confirming, not accusing. Emmett Johnson going to the Houston Texans. We got the Detroit Lions up. They're gonna go with Jayshon Barham. I like Barham. They like those guys that were kind of tweeners. I mean, Derek Barnes coming out of Purdue was a former edge player turned off-ball linebacker. And in this case, Barham, former off-ball linebacker turned edge. Hey, dude, watch out. North Dakota State, they're FBS now. They're FBS now. All right, it is. My pick is coming up. I'm thinking I'm going to get my guy. Some good players on the board, though, but I'm thinking I'm going to get my guy. All right. I hear the dogs going off right now. All right. Looks like we had some free agency moves. Okay, nothing big. Calvin Ridley restructured his contract to stay in Tennessee. It is what it is. Skylar Bell went somewhere in the third. Ted Hurst, I believe, went late third. Yep, late third. Skylar Bell went kind of mid third. And I will say, my wide receiver is still on the board that I want. Maybe I shouldn't have mentioned wide receivers where I want to go. There we go. Demetrius Crownover. Nice developmental tackle guy with some insane tools coming off the board here. Oh, dude. My wife has had it with Gojo and Akila Barkin. Guys, good players fall every year. When it comes to the draft, we're like, how did that guy fall? Sometimes we have the answers. Sometimes we don't, because then medicals come out later. Usually you could point to like, okay, something medically popped up, probably. This is why this player fell. Because typically if it's a character issue, that comes out immediately. Jacoby Lane going to the New England Patriots. Not my cup of tea at wide receiver, but a lot of people like Lane. Oh, I like Eric Rivers as well. Eric Rivers is fun out of Georgia Tech. But no, he doesn't have enough size to what I'm looking for. We got Takario Davis. I'd actually take Ephesians Prysock over Davis. But here it is, my pick. I am going wide receiver. Gojo's going to try to break in. Yo, you just... How do you knock? Okay. This dog knocks and then just stares at me like, nah, I ain't coming in. All right, so The wide receiver I'm going to take here because I want size. Where you at? Where you at? Derzon Striblin. Why are we not talking more about Striblin? This dude, first of all, while I got a minute to speak about him, look at how this dude is built. 6'2", 207. It's got close to 32-inch arms, nice wingspan. Ran a 4.36, 40 at the combine, 127 inches in the broad. He was the wide receiver 1 at Ole Miss this past year. He was their consistency. When that team was on, they were on because Striblin was doing his thing, and he can attack the field at all three levels. I was like, man, I don't know if he's got the top speed to consistently thread in vertically, and then he goes out and he stinking runs a 4.36 40. So he's got that speed in him. I just would like to see it a little bit more on tape. So I'm willing to take a shot on him here in the 4th round. Matter of fact, I have him a spot ahead of Bryce Lance because I think he just does more as a wide receiver, as a route runner. I have him right between. I have Malachi Fields, Elijah Surratt, Striblin, and then I have Lance. I like Striblin a ton. I feel like more people should talk about him. There goes Bud Clark. That's actually a really good pickup. I have guys who run 4.36 higher than guys who don't. Well, yeah, speed's not everything in the NFL. Speed's not everything in the NFL. Oh, Malachi Fields, that dude feels faster than his it was like a 4.6 240. At least I think his get off is better than that. Even his get off wasn't all that crazy. It was actually in the lower percentile. But Surratt, I just believe, will be a good wide receiver in the NFL. I think Striblin will also be a very good wide receiver in the NFL. Oh, where are you playing Kyle Lewis? I kind of already explained it. He's going to be kind of a big slot Sam linebacker in sub formations, which NFL teams run over 75% of the time. Dude, Striblin has great hands, and that's the thing. The guys that I have in front of him also have really good hands. Malachi Fields' drop rate, 2.7% last year. Elijah Surratt, 4.5%. And to be fair, last year was kind of a down year for him when it came to ball skills. And then Striblin is at 1.8. Their contested catch rate, their contested catch percentage for guys their size, you wish was a little higher, but it hovers in that 47 to 40%, which is still good. Striblin also has more forced missed tackles than guys like Fields and Surratt. And I feel like I'm talking myself into moving him ahead of those guys now. I think they all come from the 2021 recruiting class. Fields was 2021. Oh, Surratt was 2022 for real. And then Striblin was 2021. All right, we got a couple of picks coming in. Not too familiar with what a good drop rate per 100 catches is. If you have an 8% or higher drop rate, then your ball skills are pretty questionable. Of course, you need more of a long-term sample size of that. Let's say you've had at least two good years of starting. If your drop rate is 8% or more, then that probably indicates you have sussy ball skills. But then again, you're always going to go back to the tape. It's like, okay, were those on like, are they focus drops? Are they like quick game screens, catching or going to turn up field and run before you actually secure the football? Michael Trigg, by the way, I had him as a top one he was the top guy on my board for a minute. We got Brennan Thompson going to the Colts, Austin Barber going to the Falcons, Devin Moore, corner out of Florida, going to the Ravens. We are going to go over all these at the end, by the way. Jonah Coleman going to the Buccaneers. I like that. Jaeger Burton going to the Vikings, and then Michael Trigg going to the Lions. Current top guys on my board. I got Micah Morris, guard out of Georgia. Bryce Betcher, linebacker out of Oregon. Charles Demmons, corner out of Stephen F. Austin. Trey Zune, the third, of course, center/guard out of Texas A&M. And then Dalen Everett, corner out of Georgia. Matter of fact, let's just talk about guys still here in my top 100. Nick Barrett, defensive tackle out of South Carolina. And Katron Allen, running back out of Penn State. Those are currently guys that are in my top 100 still available. PFF says Strickland has had hand wrist injuries. Has he? Let me pull it up. If he has, he hasn't missed games because of it. No. Okay. So in 2023, he had a season-ending broken wrist. He used his red shirt that year, but in 2024, he played in all 12 games for Oklahoma State. In 2025, he played in all 16 games. So he had one broken wrist in 2023. Prior to that, I mean, he was a full-time starter the minute he was a freshman on Washington State. He started for 2 straight seasons, goes to Oklahoma State, suffers the broken wrist, and then he is a full-time starter the next year at Oklahoma State. So he only had 1 year where he was hurt, used his red shirt. Does Nick Barrett seem to have character issues? I'd have to look into that. You got Trey Zune going to the Panthers, and then you got Dalen Everett going to the Packers. How do you feel about what the Panthers are doing in free agency? I like it. I like what the Panthers have done in free agency. It's kind of all on Bryce Young at this point. There you go, Coach. Michael Taft. I'm not a big Michael Taft guy. I'm very much like, he could end up being my Evan Williams of the draft this year, where it's like, I don't see what he does that's relatively special. And then just because he's just a good football player, he ends up carving out a decent starting role. Like, Taft could be that guy. I think Evans was still a better prospect, in my opinion, but Taft could be that guy. There goes Charles Demmons to the Steelers. Bryce Young is good, I believe. I want to believe. Bryce Young is going to make it or break it for me when it comes to Short Keens at quarterback. If he comes out this season and he's still a question mark, then I'm out on. If you're a short quarterback, I'm out on you. I'm sorry. I've just been burned one too many times. But I'm rooting for him. There goes Michael Taft to the Eagles. As we still got some picks left in this draft. Oh, I might top this coffee off one more time. Oh, that's good. Markel Bell. Oh, the Chargers grabbing a mammoth. A colossal at tackle. Did we, the Panthers, still have Dalton, or did we release Dalton? Andy Dalton? I believe he's not on the squad anymore. Didn't they bring in Kenny Pickett to be the backup? Dalton, they have still on the squad. So still under contract. All right. I don't know if Dalton was a post June 1st cut. Thoughts on Willis? Good signing, overpaid? No, I think it's a good signing. He's gonna get paid a little bit more than Justin Fields. Honestly, if he's not good next year, we could still go quarterback and be okay with it. I thought it was a good contract. Do I think he's gonna work? I'd like to believe. I liked Malik Willis coming out. I thought him and Sam Howell were really only my first round, the guys I'd take shots on in the first round, and they were both, I think, just inside my top 30 in prospects. Obviously, we've seen Sam Howell. He's a mid-level backup. Malik Willis, at the very least, he's probably a high-end backup. Can he be a middle-of-the-league starter? It's going to be fun to watch. Isaiah World going to the Raiders. Spartan, I just started watching the conference tourneys. I don't know who's good in college basketball right now. How do you feel the number one pick this year? How do you feel the number one pick this year? I'm not sure. I think it's up in the air. Oh, dude, no, are we talking about who's it going to be? We all already know who it's going to be. Thank you very much for Mika Fitzpatrick. Yeah, I mean, we had to get rid of him. We were cutting costs. He brought you a diaper as well. Hey, Rashawn Benny. There we go. Going to the Chiefs. I like Rashawn Benny. Malik reminds you of Dak. Ooh, that's interesting. Who was my comp for Malik? What was that? 2022, right? Was I not doing comp? I wasn't doing comps then. Or at least if I was, I didn't put it down. I bet you 2023 is where I started putting it down in my spreadsheet. Oh no, I didn't even do comps in 2023. To be fair, comps kind of blow anyway. So I must have started doing it in 2024. Yeah. That's wild. I figured in 2020. That can't be right. Dang. Okay. I didn't start putting comps in my spreadsheets until 2024. That's interesting. I probably did it in my ranking videos, but that's still interesting. When comparing quarterbacks, I don't like going with the ring argument. I like going with when it comes to players specifically, I like looking at Dak is no question the best quarterback in the league. Okay. I think this is hyperbole. I like looking at playoff wins. Playoff wins, I think, is a better indicator of how much success has a player potentially brought into your team, especially if it's from a premium position. Like, I still think Dak is probably a top 12 quarterback in the league. Definitely. Why would no? Fernando Mendoza was is a way more accurate quarterback than Daniel Jones was coming out, and Daniel Jones was a much better athlete than Fernando Mendoza coming out. Herbert's got 0 playoff wins. Yep, he does. To be fair, no, yeah, no, I feel like asterisk kind of needs to be there. Will I am drafting for the Bills takes Will Lee. Interesting. Because like Herbert had no offensive line this year. That was just so unfair. Poor Herbert's out there trying to survive. And then he was stuck with a Brandon Staley team. Like, come on, dude. Brandon Staley was a bad head coach. I'm not saying Herbert's elite. My Mendoza cop is probably going to be the same as everyone else, Jared Goff. I think if you have a good situation around him, he could come in and be a guy that can lead you to a few playoff wins. You had Jared Goff coming from like an air raid system, essentially a quick passing game. Mendoza, he's coming from an RPO heavy system, very quick passing game. All right, I got the pronunciation for this for the Notre Dame guard here. I have Billy Strouth out of Notre Dame. Surprised he didn't perform at the combine, or at least didn't do the drills. Katron coming to Detroit. That's kind of a fun pick. Yes, this is a mock draft simulator. Yeah, Mendoza is definitely a better athlete than Goff. Guess what? Fun fact about comps, they're never perfect. They just aren't. Dude, Ruben, are you kidding? Ruben Bain's comp's going to be so tough. I think the best 2 comps I've seen for Bain are like Justin Houston and Melvin Ingram. Ingram kind of fits from a size perspective, but I think Houston more so from a play style. Interesting to see if Jonathan Brooks comes back healthy. It will be. I'm rooting for him. Jeremiah Love comp is Jonathan Taylor. These bigger backs that have really good straight line speed, one cut, watch out and go. Dude, it's Jonathan Taylor. I can't watch. Some people have, and that's the thing about comps. You're going to see what you want. I've seen CMC a comp for Jeremiah Love, but anytime I watch Jeremiah Love, I can't not see Jonathan Taylor. Oh, that hits good. I like that. Deion Burks going to the Buffalo Bills. They get some more speed there. Nice vertical slot player. How many picks we got left here? I think we got a good amount of picks left. Okay, let's go. If you haven't already, I haven't asked this whole freaking stream. Hit the thumbs up if you're here on the YouTube. It's always much appreciated. Much obliged. Oh, did Micah Morris go yet? I think he's currently my top player on the board. Yeah, Micah Morris currently top player on the board. Here, I'm going to look up this Nick Barden character concerns. Barrett. South Carolina character concerns. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I don't see. I don't know. Maybe it's something I need to look on X for. I don't see it from a basic Google search. Oh, dude, I love Genty. I don't know about that. I love Ashton Genty. I would have Ashton Genty ranked ahead of Jeremiah Love. Oh my gosh, why am I blanking? Okay, Nick Barrett character concerns. Caleb Proctor, the defensive lineman from southeastern Louisiana. A little undersized, but he's coming in at 290-ish. And he's got, I think, like 32.5-inch or 33-inch arms. So not bad for an undersized player. We got Tanner Koziol, tight end at well, it's Houston. They have Wisconsin here. I don't know why. Oh, Genty is tight. I wanted McMillan. Are we talking about like as an athlete? Because I disagree with that. I see nothing on the X about Nick Barrett. Character concerns. South Carolina. Yeah, I don't see any character concerns. I see nothing. Nothing. Homie, I see nothing. And there goes Nick Barrett to the Saints. Going to be at least a good run stuffer. It was Barrett's personality that came across to me as being aggressive. I don't know if there were any off the field issues. Came off being aggressive. That could be a good thing. Huh? You got to kind of elaborate on that, bro. Oh, Tim Keenan is also a guy I'm going to be lower on. Barrett reminds me of Nick Fairley. Is he as big as Nick was? Well, Nick Farley or Fairley, I forgot how it was actually pronounced. He was a much better pass rusher than Nick Barrett. Yeah, let's get Nick Fairley combine up in here. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, dang, he came in at 291. I think Barrett came in at what, 315? Yeah, Barrett came in at 315. Yeah, nah. Yeah, I don't know about that comp. Fairley was definitely much more explosive considering the 10-yard dash. I think I just nicked myself. Just a vibe I got from him. Another James Pierce type possible. I don't know. Wow, dude. I don't know about that. Like, legitimately, you had former teammates and coaches coming out talking about Nick Pierce and like, I don't know if we love him at all. You don't see that about Nick Barrett. James Pierce, that's kind of nuts, especially with what's going down with him. I don't know. I wouldn't throw that out there. That's wild. Sam Roosh going to the Niners here. Another guy I'm just not high on. Broshmo is from Jerry. How you doing, buddy? Who could be a late QB pick that could turn into a Brock Purdy kind of pick? Well, I guess Luke Altmaier, right? Let's see. I mean, the only guys that I have going late round, like Luke Altmaier, Sawyer Robertson, and Ethan, was it Kayak Manis out of Rutgers? Like maybe Mark Gronowski sneaks in and is kind of a gamer because he has been a gamer his whole career. But like late round, dude, maybe I think Altmaier's probably the obvious shout out. Pavi is a late guy who might get lucky, not at quarterback. I just don't see it at like quarterback. He's just fighting such an uphill battle. We'll go over the individual draft classes at the end. Oh, Anthony Lucas, nice developmental edge there. Out of USC, got first sacks of his career this past season. Oh, Haynes Kane's fun to watch, but if you find value in guys throwing against air at the combine, I mean, Haynes King was one of the worst. like you said, EB, wish he was a better NFL prospect. I agree. Haynes King was a gamer. Mistake in the app. Is it? I mean, dude, Anthony Lucas, I think, is still a fine pick there. (2026) second round pick, Ollie Gordon or Mac Jones and Ayuk. I'd rather if this is for dynasty, I'd rather just keep Mac Jones and Ayuk. Because Mac Jones, if Brock Purdy goes down again, Mac Jones, you could trade him for some good value. Ayuk, I think that just might be sunken goods at that point. No, the Jags should have had 2024. Or should have had the 24th. Oh, okay. Well, Bo Stevens going to the Saints, and we had Taylor Green. That's a fun quarterback, maybe tight end. Going to the Steelers. I know Taylor Green said he's playing quarterback in the NFL, but things change quick once you get to the NFL. What if the Steelers trade their second for Mac Jones? You better hope you hit on Mac Jones. Yeah, if going back to that dynasty trade, I don't see the value in picking up Ollie Gordon. I think Mac Jones is the most valuable piece there, even over the second round pick, because it's this 2026 class. If you were going to throw a second round 2027 at me, I might consider it. But Mac Jones, dude, if Brock Purdy gets hurt, Mac Jones is going to be such a great trade asset to have. I will say this, Luigi, dude, Kyler Murray is going to be fun in Minnesota. Will it be good? I don't know, but it's going to be fun. Dude, I like this draft for the Dolphins. If you look at it, man, I took care of a couple of pass catchers. I got a guard. I took care of all three levels of the defense. Dude, that's a good mock draft for the Dolphins. Mr. Jude, how you doing? What up, Broshmo? Do you think a team will trade for Levis? It would be a pick swap. It would be a big nothing pick swap if they did. Justin Jolie going to the Eagles. Howie season, baby. Dang, you ain't wrong, Luigi. I saw excuse me. I saw someone post here's the heights. Here's the height of Kyler Murray's current offensive lineman. They're gonna have to move the pocket a ton. But dude, Kevin O'Connell is a good offensive mind. I don't want to call him an OC. He's a head coach. He's a good head coach. It just looks like JJ McCarthy might have been a big blow of a pick. Burr, 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 boo, 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 boo. Do, 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 do. All right, look at this. Mansour Delane. He's got a visit with the Washington Commanders. Not that half bad. I'm sold on Taff. I'm not. Can't like everybody, I guess. What can I say? Still no free agency news for today. I keep refreshing to see something. I guess what the Jerome Ford deal might be the biggest sign in today thus far, going to Washington. Tim Keenan going to San Francisco 49ers, kind of a nothing pick, is what it is. Good depth on the roster. You were pretty low on McCarthy, weren't you? Yeah. I mean, I think I still had him in my first round, so to speak, but he was like somewhere in the 20s. I could pull that up. That was 2024. McCarthy on my big board was 25. So it went like this. Caleb Williams was 1. Drake May was 4. Jaden Daniels was 9. Bo Nix was 21. JJ McCarthy was 25. And Michael Penix was 46. Who was the other quarterback in this class? There really wasn't another quarterback in this class. I guess Spencer Rattler. I had a 3rd round grade on him. Am I the only one that thinks that the Raiders are being overhyped right now? Well, I mean, I think they made solid moves. I didn't love all of them. Like Kwity Paye, I didn't love that. Quay Walker, I didn't love that. But I think they made solid moves. They should be a better team next year. Are they going to be competitive? We'll see, but who knows? McCarthy can still make it. Yeah, absolutely. He just needs more time in the league. He might end up being a Baker Mayfield. Well, no, that's not fair. He might end up being a Sam Darnold, Geno Smith type. National media is hyping the piss out of them for perspective, Broshmo. Could this take Washington out of no, dude? Ford and White are on 1-year deals. Jeremiah Love is still definitely in the cards. Kendall Daniels ends up being the final pick here. JC Davis, by the way, going to the Niners. Kendall Daniels, he ran, I think, a 4.8 at his pro day. Kind Kind of wish that was a little bit higher, but is what it is, especially being a former safety. Best players that were still available, in my opinion, you got Micah Morris, who I have at 82 on my big board. He's still available here. Guard out of Georgia. I don't think Bryce Betcher went, linebacker out of Oregon. Let's see. Dalen Bentley, tight end out of Utah, was still around. Kayron Crawford out of Auburn, edge. Josh Cameron, wide receiver out of Baylor. Zane Durant, defensive tackle out of Penn State. Got Casey Cage, tackle / guard. But let's go over some of these drafts. Arizona Cardinals. This was the bot team. Oh, they double up on tackle. What the flip? They go Francis Mauigoa and then Caleb Lomu. Like straight up, I'm probably playing if this is it. I'm moving Mauigoa into right guard, and then maybe I play Lomu at right tackle. If I'm not comfortable with Lomu at right tackle, then I'm just playing Francis Mauigoa at right tackle. But I like Grayson Holton here. Drew Aller is kind of a fun pick. But yeah, doubling up on tackle. Ooh, kind of interesting. We got Atlanta Falcons, Malachi Fields. I feel like that's just a little bit too much of the same there in Atlanta, but I like Malik Muhammad. I think that's a very good corner. Austin Barber could be a guy to be the heir apparent at right tackle with Caleb McGarry, I think, in the final year of his deal. So that's an all right draft. Baltimore Ravens, they go with, what is it? Ione, the guard out of Penn State. Chris Brazzell comes in to be a vertical threat. If you don't like Tez Walker. Slaughter immediately probably ends up being the starter at center, and then Devin Moore gives some depth at corner. So, all right draft there. All right draft. They're solely focusing offensively. I would ideally still want to get an edge player up in there. Buffalo Bills, Keldrick Folk, I think, is a fun pick. Sam Heck is interested just because I think, they re-signed Connor McGovern. He's going to play center there. I don't think Heck could play guard. Will Lee is going to come in, bring another beefy boy at corner, and then they get a vertical slot in Deion Burks. That's an okay draft. Carolina Panthers, Jordan Tyson. Golly, that's sexy as heck at 19. Josiah Trotter is also very fun. Could be an early down player right off the get-go. You got Jalen Kilgore, who is going to kind of be this big slot safety type that they could use. Trey Zune maybe ends up being your long-term answer at center. Though they brought in Luke Fortner, I think Fortner is going to play well. He looked good for the Saints this past year. That's a good draft. That's a good draft. That might be my favorite draft as of right now. Chicago Bears, Caleb Banks taking the shot. I don't blame him. Or Mason Thomas. Does it feel like Austin Booker? It feels like Austin Booker. Keith Abney is going to be, I think he's just kind of insurance at this juncture if Kyler Gordon is still banged up. I don't know why we going with Mike Washington. You're looking for a big home run back? I guess. Sure. Cincinnati Bengals go with David Bailey. That's exceptional value. Lee Hunter to complete that defensive line, hopefully. Nick Singleton, I thought was a bit of a reach, but why not? Take the shot. And then Takario Davis gives size at corner. That's actually kind of big. No pun intended. Let's see. Cleveland Browns, Carnell Tate, Avion Terrell. Jennings Dunker, I think, is a guard, so it's kind of and then LT Overton. That's kind of a fun edge player to add there who's got some interior versatility. That's an okay draft. Wish you actually got a true tackle. But hey, Jennings Dunker, he's got the arm length, supposedly. Freaking wild. Dallas Cowboys, they go Peter Woods, AJ Allen, Nadame Tucker. I thought was a bit of a reach, but Bud Clark's a good pickup. It's an all right draft. Denver Broncos is the computer. They double up on wide receiver. They're really pissed about their pass catchers with Zachariah Branch and Denzel Boston. At least they got two different flavors at wide receiver. They got a tackle to develop in Demetrius Crownover. I like Genesis Smith quite a bit. Who does he replace? He doesn't need to replace anyone right off the bat. And then Caleb Proctor should be good. Good depth on the interior. Detroit Lions, Spencer Fano. I imagine in this scenario, he's playing right tackle and you're kicking Sewell to left. You got denied Dennis Sutton, who should challenge. I mean, dude, to be fair, the Lions like to do this with guys that are kind of tweenerish. Like they're off-ball linebackers, but they got blitz and upside. Again, like Derek Barnes. They bring in Jashawn Barham. Michael Trigg there to play tight end. I don't know what's the timeline on. Oh my gosh, why am I blanking on Detroit's current tight end? Former Iowa player. Alex loved him coming out. Oh, Sam Laporta. There we go. Yeah, I don't know what the injury timeline is for Laporta. Katron Allen's a fun pickup. Could end up being better than Isaiah Pachenko. Green Bay Packers, Colton Hood, good pickup at that range. You got Daryl Jackson. That's essentially your TJ Sladen, right? And then Dalen Everett, double dipping a corner, saying, hey, I think we have a corner need. Let's take two shots on it. I don't mind that. Houston Texans, Kaden McDonald going to be a big beefy boy on the interior. Blake Miller, kind of a project, not project, but someone you could develop at right tackle. Doesn't need to start right away. Gabe Backus is just insane, an insane part to add to the rotation on the defensive line there. Elijah Surratt feels like more of the same when it comes to Jaden Higgins. And Emmerich Johnson gives them a bit of a home run threat. So that's an all right draft. We got Indianapolis Colts, Jake Golday. Get them a linebacker. Matter of fact, they double dip at linebacker. They also go with Brennan Thompson, vertical speedster out of the slot, in my opinion. It'd be kind of nice if they got kind of a possession type of wide receiver, but it kind of is what it is. Double dip in a linebacker just doesn't feel sexy. Wish maybe got an edge out of there or just someone along the defensive line. Jacksonville Jaguars grab Chris Johnson. I like that. Kamari Ramsey's a pretty solid pickup as well. Deontay Lawson could end up vying for a starting linebacker. Could end up vying for that starting linebacker position next to Aluakun. And we got Brian Parker the second, who ends up being maybe guard, center depth. Maybe he beats out Robert Hainsey. So, okay. We got Kansas City Chiefs. Should get Gojo in here, but he's out there with the family. Kenyon Sadiq. I like Kenyon Sadiq. I think it's an obvious landing spot. Quite frankly, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, I just don't see the vision with him on this squad. Max Ihanachor, I like that. I like him as a developmental guy. I think Wanya Morris probably is a free agent next year as well, but Jalen Moore is. So Ihanachor is kind of what you're kind of hoping year two. That's him. Joshua Josephs. I'm in on Joshua Josephs. I love me some Joshua Josephs. Rashawn Benny is a fun player to add to the interior there. I like this draft quite a bit. That second first round pick, I kind of wish was a corner, but it is what it is. Chargers, they go TJ Parker, get some edge help. They get some interior help with Besantis. I think that's a good pickup. Skylar Bell is just a fun player to add for this team. And then Markel Bell was a bit of a head scratcher, maybe just a guy to throw in there in case injury hits. Which, I mean, you got both your starting tackles coming off injury. I don't love this draft for the Rams because this draft just screams these players aren't touching the field for another 2 to 3 years. Monroe Freeland, probably a year 2 starter. Garrett Nussmeier could end up being a year 2 or year 3 starter. Harold Perkins, I don't even know if there's a vision for him to hit the field outside of just being this role player. So it's an interesting draft. It's definitely a draft to the future, not to help them win this year. Raiders, they go with Mendoza. Omar Cooper's an absolute steal in the second round. Y'all know I love Cooper. AJ Halsey's a good pickup at safety. Their safeties had struggles last year. I love Chandler Rivers, him coming in to challenge Taron Johnson, who they traded for in a pick swap. Isaiah World could be a good developmental tackle. Anthony Lucas could be a good developmental edge. Solid is what it is. Free agency helped the Rams win this year. Yeah, but still, I think you would want to find players that could contribute more immediately. I guess I get going tackle early. I want to take in Garrett Nussmeier in the second. That's just me. I want to touch them. All right, we got this was me. This was my draft. I did for the Dolphins, Mansour Delane, Derek Moore. I think those are two players that come in immediately. Especially Derek Moore can be a early down pass rush or early down run defender with good pass rush and upside, but Uchi comes in to be more of a traditional like DPR type. Mansour Delane's just gonna be a starter. Kyle Lewis, he's gonna be a role player. Maybe they use him like Nick Emanuari was used in Seattle. That's kind of my vision for Kyle Lewis. Max Clare, I think immediately challenges the starting tight end position. Jalen Farmer, I hope would challenge Jamari Sawyer, but Farmer is more of a projection into the future with Stribling, given not only size but also speed. I liked my draft for the Dolphins. Minnesota Vikings, they grabbed Dylan Thieneman as everyone and their moms projecting. Christian Miller's exceptional value in the second. Jaden Price is also good value in the third. Julian Neal is, I think, going to be a versatile defensive back for them. And then Burton. Was Burton playing center? I think I still need to watch Burton. Yeah, Burton was playing center for Kentucky this past season, so I need to give him a watch. So someone to develop for the future. It's a solid draft. New Orleans Saints go with Caleb Downs, taking the best player off just available to them there. Again, the idea is probably, hey, we're going to use them like Kyle Hamilton, Nick Emanuari. You got KC Recepcion, needs to get the hands a little bit better, but you get him to pair up with Chris Olave. You got Romello Height as a DPR type there for the Saints. Nick Barrett, I think, immediately is a good run stuffer for the Saints as he kind of develops as a pass rusher, and then a good depth guard in Bo Stevens. We got the Giants, Sonny Styles, Emmanuel Pregnon, Bryce Lance, just better. Oh gosh, why am I blanking on? Was he former West Virginia? He's now just kind of the big vertical option for the Giants. Darius Slayton, there we go. I wanted to say David Stills, but he's in Atlanta. So yeah, that's essentially your Darius. Hopefully your Darius Slay upgrade. Pregnon probably challenges guard 2, though they did bring back Aaron Stinney. And then depending on what goes on with Marcus Bowe, I don't know what position he's going to lock up. But Sonny Styles is kind of going to be one of the most common picks for the Giants at pick 5. The New York Jets, they go Arvell Reese. They go Makai Lemon, some of my favorite players in this class. They get Ty Simpson. He had to go somewhere. D'Angelo Pons is a dog. Ends up probably being a center. Logan Jones can maybe challenge Josh Myers in the future. Daniels is just kind of a pick there. I'm a little lower on Daniels, but not a bad draft. We got Eagles. I actually really like this draft for the Eagles. The only pick I don't love is Michael Taff, but I think it kind of is what it is. He's probably going to be a good special teamer and maybe a good. He might end up being Reed Blankenship, straight up. Joe Lee's a good tight end. You pair him up with Stowers, you kind of double dip at tight end there, and I think that's a good idea. We don't know what's going to go on with Dallas Clark, or Goddard, excuse me, but you got to imagine Goddard, if he does come back, it's a 1-year deal. I think Akeem Mesidor helps them now. So, and Caleb Tiernan, even if he just ends up being a good backup, that's solid. Ted Hurst is fun, though. I like Ted Hurst quite a bit. We got Pittsburgh Steelers. They go Caden Proctor, going to compete for left tackle. Keon Scott's going to compete in the slot. Antonio Williams is going to compete in the slot with Roman Wilson. Zakee Wheatley, he could actually contend at safety, and you're going to have a pair of Penn State safeties, which is kind of fun. Charles Demmons, I think, is a great player to develop that might mean something down the road. And Taylor Green, whether he ends up being a receiver, a tight end, or a quarterback, he's a guy you kind of want to take a shot on in the 4th round. Let's see. Seahawks, they go Zion Young, get a pass rusher. Connor Lew, didn't really understand the pick, is what it is. But Stooks, good, versatile defensive back there. So all in all, I liked the first pick. I liked the 3rd pick. I didn't like the 2nd pick. All right. Niners, Cassius Howe. I thought was a bit of an overdraft, but I mean, you're on a team that if you're looking for that DPR, he's a DPR. Chris Bell is a great pickup. I love the fit. You got offensive line help in JC Davis, who might end up being a guard, but he's got the size and length to stick a tackle. Strouth or Strouth could end up being a starting guard for you eventually. I don't love Rouse, but he'd be tight end 3 on this roster. That's fine. Tim Keenan's just going to be a guy in the rotation. So an all right draft there. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Jermon McCoy. I don't mind it. Good fit for Bowles' system. Will Bowles be there past this season? We'll see. Anthony Hill, you add to the linebacker room. I think that's a big get. Big Citrus is fun. Him and Vita Vea are going to be just big clogs. And Jonah Coleman, I like. They don't have that bowling ball back on the roster right now. They got a couple of small backs in Bucky Irvin and Kenneth Gainwell. All right. I do see the super chat. I'll get to it in a second. We got Tennessee Titans, Jeremiah Love. Y'all know how I feel about it. I don't love it. Brandon Cisse, I don't get going in on another corner after he went so heavy in free agency at corner. Kind of is what it is. But I love the Kalen Rutledge pick. I think immediately he should win out at right guard over Volson. If he doesn't, then flip, dude. He must be terrible. Chris McLennan is just a good pickup in general. I like McLennan. Kind of have him as a top 100 prospect. And then let's wrap this sucker up with the Washington Commanders. Ruben Bain, great pick. Jeremy Bernard, great pick. Would I want more speed in the room for the wide receivers? Maybe, but it's not like Bernard tested out slow. He was actually quite good. It was like 4.46. Super chat. Don't have a question. Just want to say love your channel and thank you for all the work you do for us. Easy breezy, dude. I just love talking draft with y'all. I love talking football. The whole channel is built on football discourse. And even when it's disrespectful, I have a good time in the comments. Because I'm a bit of a troll. All right, that's it for me, guys. I'm going to go ahead and catch up on some of these pro day numbers. Got a couple of other things I need to do today. I will be recording that post free agency mock draft with football analysis tomorrow, and that'll be out Monday. So be on the look for that. That's going to be, we're in collab season. I got to start scheduling these suckers out. But as always, until next time, you be easy, my friends.